scrolling on my algorithm and I was watching a video from years ago. Kiki Shears thinking about what should come over. Everybody know that song is for the side nigga. So, but I scrolled into the next video that I wanted to talk about two things that I found very interesting. We're going on excursions today. So today is our last day in Aruba. My son wished we could stay longer. And I'm like, I ain't got that. If I had a man with me, yeah, look, you know, I ain't got that type of money yet, you know. But, cause I think Disney World, I did a whole week. And with this, it actually turned out to be the same price because it's like cabs going back and forth, food, you know, it really does add up. And I ended up going, thank God I had money in my savings account. You know, I always would suggest that of any age, always have some money in your savings account. Make sure you got some Wi-Fi for when you got to make that transaction. Y'all remember, I don't know, those of y'all who are 35 and older, remember you had to call the bank. I was somewhere in Miami and something happened with my phone. I don't know what happened as far as like like I couldn't make a transaction because my card had declined, you know. So even though I'm happy I'm in Aruba, I haven't had no problems with my card because at this point they're used to me traveling, so it's kind of like okay. But briefly I wanted to talk about how two things is Tasia, that's on YouTube. She actually has a channel. She's on Facebook and YouTube as well. And she was talking about a lot of people ask her for advice. So the dude was doing everything, but he didn't want commitment. And I wanted to talk about that briefly because it's natural as a woman, you want commitment, and I get that. But I wanted to ask y'all in YouTube world, comment, like, and subscribe. What's worse? Like for me personally, I'd rather a man tell me, oh, you know, I don't want commitment versus he marries you. This is worst case scenario too. He marries you, Valentine's Day come, you get nothing. Better one, I'll give you a better one. He out with his friends on Valentine's Day. And men do that, you know, All-Star Weekend and whatever. They rather be with their friends than be with their woman, right? They're not gay. It's just the fact of, I think I spoke about this in a video, men trauma bond. So the guy I used to date, he was like the father of the group. He was the oldest one. He was born 1981. And so everybody like kind of looked up to him, kind of. And none of them had dads. Like they all grew up in 40 projects, South Jamaica. Shout out to South Jamaica. None of them had fathers in the home. Another guy in the group. Now he was lucky to have his grandparents, something that the others didn't have. The rest of them just had their mom. Another dude, he had his grandparents. I guess his grandfather may or may not wasn't enough for him, but his father was in jail most of his life. So these men have more than a friendship. They have a what I would call a trauma bond. Because what a coincidence, y'all are so close. You grow up in the projects, no father in the household, and y'all are just buddy best friends. And it could turn toxic because once one of them, you know, I don't know if they're close now because one of them got married, one of them passed away. So like the group is kind of like not as, and then they're older too, so they're not as close, you know, or whatever. But you know, a couple of those men are married, whatever, and they friendships come first. And you have a lot of men, especially black men, they'll tell you to your face, my friends come first. And so I would rather a man put me in a category of we just gonna be cool than you marry me and every night I don't know where you are. And I'm just keeping it a buck. Every woman is different. Because I've had this conversation with a few women. And a lot of women just want a title. They themselves don't even want commitment. Because let me flip it on you. A woman that's not committed, what does that look like? A woman who doesn't pray for her household, that's lack of commitment. A woman who doesn't want to support her man in any type of way. He's struggling. Let's say, God forbid, he loses his job. Or, anything could happen with him financially. And your little girl mindset, and I say little girl because a grown woman is going to help her man get back on his feet. But a little girl will say, well, you lost your job, I'm leaving. Or, better one, y'all facing a crisis. The house is going on foreclosure. She got like $10,000 in the bank sitting pretty, and she doesn't help you. That's a woman that has no commitment. Another example, you have children, and this woman is not going to PTA meetings. She is not cooking. She's not cleaning. Better yet, she's not working. But when you come home from work, you're expected to cook and clean. That's a woman that's not committed. So let's not just put it on men and say, oh, well, they don't come home at night. What is he coming home to? For what? What is he coming home for? Right? And then it's like, y'all want to criticize another girl that wanted to criticize men for being overweight. But let's talk about women who let themselves go too. But, we don't want to put responsibility on women. We just want to, and I think I spoke about this yesterday in the video where they put, with the, they call it open conversation, panel discussion, whatever. They never ask about the guy. They just going off of what these women are saying. They're asking questions, but they're not asking critical thinking questions like, well, what is it about you that you with this rusty dusty? You got to be dusty yourself. And somebody else did a video saying, well, people need to stop having babies with dusties. Did it ever occur to you that these same women might be dusties themselves? The fact that they didn't just sleep with these men and move on with their life. These women are in full-blown relationships with unemployed men, right? These women are in full-blown relationships with so-called men that aren't good. And so you have to look at it. And the reason why I always do that is because I grew up in a household of, oh, he doing this. Well, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're doing nothing for yourself, for your household. All you do is put this man down. And, the Bible even says it, that a man rather die in a desert than to be with a woman that's, going to do wrong by her household. I don't know if I'm quoting it right, but yeah, a man don't want to come home to stupidity. A man doesn't want to come home to something that's stupid. Something that's ignorant. You talking about, oh, he don't come home at night. Why should he? For what? So he can be arguing and going through fights and what? No. Let's stop the madness. Let's start with ourselves. What do I bring to the table? And Juanita Bynum, we need to bring out the Juanita Bynums. And that's why I don't have 1 million followers yet, because I really keep it real. You got your Tasias and you got all these women that's, oh, this man ain't this. I would never say it. Even in my friendships, you sit there, you tell me your story, and then I'm going to be like, well, why would you want to be with somebody like this? What is it about you that you find alluring about him? First of all, I'm going to be looking at you like, okay, where's your responsibility? Like, I had a friend, I think I told y'all about this. She dated different men and none of them wanted to be with her. So she didn't really tell me details about certain things until way after a fact, right? Like the men would tell her that they were involved with other women, or one particular guy told her that he was in love with his baby mom. So it's like when he got married, what you thought, she's like, oh, but we did something a week before. So he told you he was in love with her, because I'm like, well, there's no way that he just up and got married. I don't believe that. And sure enough, she's like, yeah, he used to. I'm like, but what did he say about this woman to your face? Because one thing about a man, he's going to tell you how he feels about a woman. Some men might lie, but for the most part, if he's not with you, he with somebody else, or he trying to get with somebody else, and he's going to tell you how he feels about her. So in her situation, He told her, yes, I'm in love with her, da da da. So I'm like, well, why would you proceed to keep messing with him? And he's telling you how he feels about another woman. Like, that don't even make sense. Like, but she would never examine herself. She would never say, oh, this is what I did, whatever. So comment, like, and subscribe. What's worse, having the title and you're not being claimed at home, you're not being claimed and protected at home, or doing couple stuff but no title. Comment, I want to know where y'all heads is at. I'm really curious. Like, you know, y'all see this? Like, yeah, what's worse? But I seen there's a lot of things, a lot of topics. The school, y'all already know how I feel about the DOE. They ain't shit. I was just talking to somebody last night, and he gonna say, "Oh, this is America. This not third." I'm like, no. Like, if a child ain't doing what they supposed to be doing, they supposed to fail. My school, when I went to school, I went to a private school, and we didn't really have much. But if your ass ain't go to class, your ass had to go to summer school. Your parent had to pay another fee for that. And if your ass ain't go to summer school, your ass just didn't get no diploma. You could pass all the regents you want. That's how my school was. And my school was a very simple school. Like, it really was. Like, you didn't even have to pass tests. Just come to class. Do the homework and classwork. That's all you had to do. And get your diploma, So, yeah. Comment, like, and subscribe. What's worse? And also, another thing I wanted to add, I feel like with men, they do what they know. So you have men who, the ones who do have fathers in their life, sometimes those fathers are teaching them how to be hoes, how to be promiscuous. And the excuse is, I'm a man, right? So they're acting to what they know. They grew up watching their fathers be barbaric, and that's the word I use, barbaric. That's very barbaric to think that a woman's job is to wash your drawers, please you sexually. You don't even care about pleasing her sexually. Please you sexually, cook all the food, clean the whole house with no help from you, raise the children with no help from you. Let's talk about that. I leave out a lot of married single moms. Oh, but you the wife though. I'd rather be the side chick where I'm going places. We going out. We outside. I don't need a title. I really don't. I'd rather have my fun than to be, because being it's a burden to have to take care of another adult. It's like, what are we doing? What are we even, marriage is supposed to be, or commitment, or whatever y'all believe in. It's supposed to be a partnership. I'm supposed to have fun and feel relieved. That's why I'm single now, because my last relationship, he wasn't like making my life better. Why am I in a relationship, but everything I have I paid for? Groceries, what the fuck I need you for? You're supposed to make my life easier, and that's my beliefs. You're not supposed to make my life harder. You're not to have, I'm guessing and, no. But comment, like, and subscribe. Comment, like, and subscribe. And it's my last day in Aruba. We leave tomorrow. That fast. Those are my thoughts.